County Board of Commissioners meetings to order. Start by prayer by Pastor Erickson.
Again, thanks so much for taking out a couple of minutes. Talk to the Lord before we get to the business at hand. Let me pray. Heavenly Father, community is certainly your design from the very beginning of creation. It was your plan from the very outset that people should live together in relationship with you and with one another. We are your people, created to serve you and to serve one another. As Jesus came to earth to become a servant for those who had forsaken him, move us to become servants, using our various gifts and our various vocations to glorify you and to serve each other. Lord, we know that we live in a culture of increasing self-serving efforts, caring concern, kind-hearted gestures, and simple neighborliness sometimes seems to be on the wane. There is isolation, blame, distrust, all becoming the order of the day in our world. At times it seems that in spite of connected communication, we are becoming more intolerant, more isolated, more inconsiderate of one another's needs. Remind us of your great commandment to love your neighbor as yourself, and your greater commandment to love as I have loved you. Generate in our community and others across our nation the commitment to sacrifice, righteousness, and selflessness that seeks not the ways of expediency and convenience, but giving wholeheartedly, cheerfully, and willingly for the welfare of others, regardless of how long it takes. We thank you, merciful Father, for those in this community whom you have raised up as trustworthy leaders here in this place. We thank you for these living examples here in this room of integrity, faithfulness, and compassion, for their foresight and clear vision with purpose to improve our community and the lives of its citizens. When we have failed to appreciate all of those here, we pray that you would forgive us. When we have failed to be grateful as they perform their civic duty, make us thankful. Keep the leaders of our community free from disillusionment and disgust when they face obstacles of discord and complaining, difficult people, difficult circumstances. Continue to work within our community, a spirit of humility and true cooperation, peace, and unity, for this is your will. Lord, as Jesus carried the burden of the world's sin to a cross that we might live in relationship with you, enable us to live in your harmony, carrying one another's burdens, never growing weary of doing good. All this we ask in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Roll call, please.
Commissioner LaHaye,
Here.
Commissioner Ludlow,
Here.
Commissioner Bray. Here. Commissioner Britton,
Here.
Commissioner Kozlowski.
Here. Oh, I jumped over the pledge, so let's stand. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag, United
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tap when you don't have glasses. Okay, we have the agenda and there's a couple things that we wanted to make adjustments to. Jesse?
Yes, sir. I would like to move Judge Curtis's budget presentation to prior to the spy class presentation, possible. We'd also like to pull the special orders for Pam Susan's retirement tribute. She was unexpectedly pulled away, so unable to make it. She'd like to attend the next meeting. And just a small correction on poll vote action item number 2. The second reference to Northern Lights Arena should read Alpena Rink Management. And also there were 2 additional yes votes that came in for Commissioners LaHaye and Kondrashevsky that should be noted.
for poll vote number 2.
Correct.
And Ludlow. So I'm sorry, what did you say? They came in as what?
Those two came in as yes votes, so they should have been recorded.
So we got everything then?
Yes, sir.
Okay, with those adjustments, look for a motion to approve the agenda.
Make the motion.
Motion by
support.
Commissioner LaHaye, support by Commissioner Bray. All those in favor signify by, oh, wait a minute.
All right.
Aye.
All right.
Yeah, okay. Getting ahead of myself. Okay, public comment. Anyone have public comment? Fine. Okay, we'll close public comment. Next item is the bills to pay, so we are pulling those 2 items, Carrie.
Yeah, we can.
So everyone's aware of the items that we're pulling. The ambulance service invoices. So we'll pull those. So then I look, anyone else has any other questions?
Nope.
I look for a motion to approve the bills.
I'll make the motion.
I'll support. Motion by
Bill.
Commissioner LaHaye, support by Ludlow. Okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner LaHaye,
Yes.
Commissioner Ludlow.
Yes.
Commissioner Bray. Yes. Commissioner Britton,
Yes.
Commissioner Kozlowski.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next item is the consent calendar. Everyone's had a chance to look at the consent calendar. There was one item we discussed, and I brought some more information to the commissioners regarding our policy, financial policy, our fiscal policy. So I guess I'll make a motion, or I'll ask that we pull CPSC number 1 related to the tuition. We can have a discussion, or we can, because I'm not sure, I know we got 3 commissioners missing right now. If we want to push that back to courts and public safety to make a modification to that, it's up to you guys what you feel.
That makes sense.
It does, yes.
So we'll push that back to courts and public safety for the next meeting.
Okay.
Are you good with that, Todd?
Yes.
Okay. So was there anything else that on the consent calendar that anyone wanted to pull? I had questions with? Okay, I'd look for a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Commissioner LaHaye,
I'll support.
support by Commissioner Bray. Any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Commissioner Ludlow,
Yes.
Commissioner Bray. Yes. Commissioner Britton,
Yes.
Commissioner LaHaye,
Yes.
Commissioner Kozlowski.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next item, we have Judge Curtis.
And folks, my understanding, yes, just to come in front of you, this isn't kind of the final budget, but kind of where we're at right now with things is at least my general understanding. So as always, I'm going to be talking from what I kind of understand where we have the control from office supplies down. So that's HSA and everything above. We're not really talking about.
Yep.
So, and having selected here, my court administrator for the district court, and kind of went through everything. There's some things we're going to decrease, some things we're going to increase, but the savings that we have as of right now would be $7,754. A little bit of misleading because of that. The phones that are now, I guess, going over to IT, so we've taken that out of our line item, but it's still being accounted for in the general fund, so I don't want you to think that that's a true savings, if that makes sense or not.
Yeah.
That's, I think, 1,400, give or take, so that gets us still down to a 6,300 or so in savings. I should note, when you look at the line items, the jury expenses, jury fees, and mileage, we put in at the full amount, but we get reimbursed by the state 1/2 of that amount that we expend. So there is some, some savings there. And that's really kind of the gist of it. Also within there is we had money from previously for an overtime line item, which is above the HSA. We struck that, so there is, that's also part of the savings. I guess really, we're just trying to pin down numbers as fine as we can have. Some of the postage had to go up, so that's one of the costs that went up. The year before, we had issues, I don't say issues, but an influx of interpreter cases. We had increased that out of really just being conservative, realizing that's probably doesn't look to be the, well, knock on wood, not gonna be as big of a problem as we had anticipated. So we just one line item that definitely went down more than some of the others. Everything else is just trying to get it down to the bare bones for you folks so that you actually know where the money is, as opposed to that, saying, hey, we had 2,000 in overtime, but then at the end of the year, that magic money that always shows up, trying to get rid of that. And so having you guys know where we're at. I guess, are there specifics or thoughts or?
Well, I have a thought. And I've mentioned it to Kerry. If you're looking for a jury individual available, say there, I love, no one ever picks me. I go to. Pick me. So just putting that out there. If you need somebody, if you have a last minute call in,
Trust me, we have plenty of show causes for people that choose not to.
you wouldn't even have to do that with me. I just give me a heads up and I'll be there. So.
Afraid it doesn't work that way, but we'll try to make sure you're on the list. I guess, I don't know, any other
Question
thoughts?
from anybody else?
I mean, it's, like I said, the big ones were postage going up. Everything else was kind of coming down.
So what did your postage go up to?
We raised it by 1,000.
Okay. All right. If no other questions, we appreciate you coming over.
Yep, that's kind of where we're at, and just want to give you a heads up that at least we're not, at least with that part. So we're trying to get down to the bare bones for you,
Okay,
so,
thank you very much.
all right. Yep.
Thank you.
Does that, I know from probate, I believe Ms. Bray and, well, Ms. Fournier coming to meet with probate. We have met with the county administrator, Osmer, earlier this week. With district court, are we gonna still meet with a commissioner later on? I wasn't quite sure this process. I know the sheriff was here.
We haven't met with you yet. And I called your office or the other day.
So I have two. I got probate and district court. So you called my probate.
Liz, I called Liz.
Called Liz for probate. Probate's even more bare bones than the district court. This is the district court. So I just wasn't sure, I guess, if.
Well, if you line up a time, you're probably available if she gets the time, right?
Probably. Sometimes I don't know if Liz, I mean, we put the budget in.
But do you think that I still need to meet with him? He's explained,
Well, this, I haven't even touched, I have two budgets.
okay.
It's just the district court budget.
I have to go back and look at, they weren't very, there wasn't a whole lot, but I wanted to work with Brenda and work it out. So we'll be in touch.
That works.
Okay. You have any preference as to days? Because I know I called,
The only time I could ever really say I'm available is called lunch. Otherwise, I can't tell you my schedule in court.
like probate, I think it was. I tried, they said Fridays wasn't good and I didn't.
Right, Friday's the
Yeah.
probate docket, but that's because then I have to record the rest of the week and anyways, we'll find a time. I just wasn't sure
Okay.
more with district court if we still needed to meet with any commissioners.
Yeah,
I met with him as well. So I mean,
did?
yeah, if that's okay, I can share the numbers.
Okay.
And then if you guys have questions, we've had a pretty lengthy meeting, about an hour. So if you have questions, I think I probably have answers.
to work with Jesse, yeah.
Let's figure out if we need to, let us know.
One item that did come up, and I don't know, Chairman, if you want this to go to a subcommittee and then come back before this board. But there's some movement in the judge's office, and the magistrate is picking up additional work. They were wondering if they could adjust the pay to account for that. It would still be a savings at the end of the year, in total. But is that something you'd like to discuss now? since we're talking about his budget, or is that something?
Probably I'd rather, we will have a discussion and then bring that back.
Okay,
later.
I can know.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you. for-
Thank you.
Yep, sliding us up and appreciate it. Be careful.
Thank you.
Okay, next item we have up is Spyglass presentation.
Hey, Ezra. Appreciate everybody having us on here today to discuss Spyglass. And what I'll do is I'm not going to take up too much of your guys' time, probably about 10 minutes or so, and then I'll see if you guys have any questions after the overview of what Spyglass has to offer. Just a high level 50,000 foot view looking in. Spyglass is an expense management organization. So we help municipalities take a look at the technology billing line items. When I say technology billing, I'm talking things like your voice and internet, data billing and wireless bills. And ultimately our goal is to get refunds back for municipalities, as well as helping reduce your current costs moving forward without changing services or providers or pulling any wires, anything like that. In terms of a little bit about us, before I dive into what our recommendations and process look like, Spyglass has been in business for over 20 years. We have currently worked with over 14,500 clients nationwide. And when it comes to government entities, we do average a 20% cost reduction month over month for our clients. So, when you guys have a discussion about Spyglass and think about what the overall budget is in this area, Spyglass helps average a 20% cost reduction in this area, as well as helping out with our proprietary benchmark analysis that we run for organizations as well, so they can leverage the market. Spyglass, what we do is a contingent-based bill analysis. So there's no upfront cost for us to run an analysis on these bills to see if there's savings to be had, and then we get paid a portion of those savings. So what Spyglass needs to run our analysis is the past 2 months of bills of the voice and internet and wireless bills. And then from there, we build an inventory of all that information and generate recommendations at that point. So the recommendations that we put together for our clients is broken down into 3 separate components. The first one's going to be recovery recommendations. We're actually able to go back to the point of inception of your current contracts with your providers, getting refunds back from things like incorrect tax and tariff errors, inconsistencies in fees and surcharges. And then also sometimes what happens a lot of times is someone's gotten rid of a service and you're still being billed for it. Spyglass initiates and getting those refunds back that way. The other 2 buckets of categories deal with reducing that month-to-month spending down moving forward. So the first one's going to be the service elimination recommendations. We do a usage analysis for all of our clients' phones. Essentially, we take a look at your every line, circuit, and service that you have. We'll show you what's being utilized throughout those accounts, what's underutilized, and then also what's completely dormant. And that way, the obvious is that we can get rid of those dormant services that you no longer need. Our bread and butter, like I mentioned, is going to be the cost reduction piece to this opportunity. This is the opportunity where we run that proprietary benchmark analysis. And what that does for our clients is really help them leverage the market. So we're looking for any additional discount promotions that are available for you guys. We're also looking for consolidation opportunities, leveraging opportunities in the market as well. With this being a success-based opportunity, we really want to bring as much savings opportunities to the table. So organizations want to act on those and have Spyglass implement those recommendations for the organization as well. So in terms of our process, what that looks like is the first phase of our process is the approval phase. So that's where, we have our 1-page agreement we have our client sign, a letter of authorization. So we're able to obtain any additional billing information that we may need, such as CSRs, call traffic records for our usage analysis. And then we also do need the past 2 months of bills in the areas that we take a look at. We also have a shared drive service, as you can see here. That is where you can drag and drop the billing into if they're in a PDF format, or upload billing to as well. Once the onboarding phase is completed, we gathered the information. We would schedule a kickoff meeting. That kickoff meeting is to set proper expectations, set some timeframes in terms of how long we plan for the analysis to take, as well as getting you into the audit queue as well. Once that kickoff meeting is completed, our analysis timeframe takes us 4 weeks. During that 4-week window is when we're putting together the recommendations and building the inventory. So once that 4-week process is over and we've built the recommendations for the county, we'll review all recommendations with the organization in a summary of findings meeting. So in that summary of findings meeting, we will have firm dollar amounts as to what savings opportunities will be available for the organization. And then at that point, you all get to go back and be in the driver's seat, pick and choose which recommendations that you want to move forward with. And then with that being said, also with this being contingent, if we do not find any savings opportunities, you might fall in that 1% where we don't find anything, or, you elect not to move forward with any of our recommendations. At that point, the process is done. It's a zero cost to you guys. How Spyglass essentially earns our money is based upon the recommendations that we show you in that summary of findings meeting that you guys want to take advantage of and have Spyglass do the implementation on as well. So our fee structure is based upon those implemented recommendations. It's a 2-part fee structure. The first part is attached to anything that we implement from a recovery standpoint. So any refunds that we would get back for the county, we would share in the savings 50-50. So if you think of it this way, if we get a refund back from your service provider for $10,000, they would send the refund to the organization. Once it's verified, you've been issued your refund, we would send an invoice for $5,000. We'd share in that savings. The moving forward recommendations, the service elimination and the cost reduction piece, the fees for that are slightly different. What we do there is we attach a multiplier to the savings achieved, and that multiplier is 12. So the obvious there is that it guarantees that our process is budget neutral and your ROI doesn't exceed a year. Example of that would be if we come in and find a dead fax line at one of your locations, and that fax line is costing you, let's say, $10 a month, and you want us to get rid of that fax line for you, the fee for that would be the $10 multiplied by 12. So it'd be a fee of $120. And the obvious area, like I mentioned, it guarantees that you guys will see the savings year 2, 3, 4, and 5 until the sun goes out. Okay. Guess that was a little bit quicker than 10 minutes, but you guys have any questions on what that process looks like about Spyglass, and I can answer those for you guys as well.
You said, is this more specific towards like phone lines and fax lines? So it's not really related to cellular phones or any other potential areas?
It is also related to cell phones as well. So anything that is voice related, local long distance, voice over IP, your internet service, data services such as internet, and then also your wireless billing, cell phone bills that you do get from your service providers.
Anyone have any other questions? Do you have any type of literature that I could read on Spyglass that you could send us?
Yeah, that's not a problem. Who should I send that to?
Jesse? Then
Okay.
he can get it. Are you the one that set up this meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and then he can distribute it to the commissioners.
Yeah, definitely. I can send over a PDF of the slide deck to you all. And that has integrated information there, like videos and things like that, that you can click on and check out as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So no other questions?
No.
Okay, I appreciate your time and getting us
Appreciate it.
up to date on this.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
You too.
Okay, next up, so yes, as far as the Spyglass, do we have to have a discussion or we wait to get the?
Yeah, we can wait till we get the rest of the information.
Did he give you any timeline when they're wanting to do this by or?
No, I mean, they don't have a timeline. It's just,
Okay, so we'll wait on the info and then we'll go from there. Next up, we have Adam, the for the MSU extension.
Afternoon.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk about our budget. I've just got a one-page piece for you. There is something on the back as well. And I'll explain it in just a moment. Regarding the MSU extension budget, this year, this is $78,516. I have requested the exact same amount from the Youth and Rec Committee. So just a little bit of history here. Last year, the county took MSU extension out of the county portion of the budget. So we went back to the Youth and Rec Committee and we requested a mini grant to fill the gap for last year, which they did allow. This year, I requested the entire amount from Youth and Rec, but we won't know what we will get from them until they announce all their Youth and Rec findings. And my request to this body is if we don't get fully funded by Youth and Rec, I would request that the county picks up the difference. So in past years, Youth and Rec for many years since it's existent has funded us about 40,000, 41,000 per year. And the county was picking up the support staff half-time position and roughly around $10,000 additional. So that's where the 78,000 comes into play. So of that 78,000, 53,000 goes to our memorandum of understanding. This is an agreement we signed with all our counties that provides access to MSU extension services. Basically, it's the county portion of the MSU extension budget. 16% of our funding comes from the counties. The rest comes from state and federal sources. So I like to say for 16% investment, you get 100% of everything extension has to offer. I have included in the little box at the bottom what we've done in the last year. 249 programs. Our social media reach was 20,896. So that'll be information about programs. It'll also be articles about new things that are happening in any of the areas that MSU Extension covers. And people can click on those and read up on those and attend events that they're interested in that we're doing. Programming reach is folks that have gone to classes or series. A lot of our classes are series, so they might go for 6 weeks, for example. But that was 3,406 last year. And indirect programming are things that are not like a class setting. They're more things that educational events at other events. So for example, Mary Dunko might do something at the farmer's market, an educational event under the pavilion there, and that would count as indirect programming. So that was about 5,800 people last year. Many of you have seen just recently the fair, the 4-H folks do a ton at the fair. We have about 230 4-Hers active in the program right now. And that's the 4-Hers themselves. That's not including all the volunteers that make 4-H run and the families participating in everything in that. The fair is the culmination of their year, but what most people don't see is they meet regularly throughout the year. They learn about their animals. They attend other events as well. Not everything is livestock related. There's archery and there's ice fishing in the winter and a lot of different programming with 4-H that is part of this. Some of the things you might not see, like we don't necessarily include in the annual report, but just to give you some ideas of other things that we're heavily involved in, it's kind of behind the scenes. I'll give you an example from this morning. I got a call from a number of people that are applying for disaster aid through Farm Services Agency, and they were referred to us by FSA because MSU Extension publishes rates for agriculture grants. So if you're applying for an ag grant, there's standardized rates that you can use in your federal applications that we publish. So they wanted them to use something similar for disaster aid. Most of the people applying for that aid are not agriculture producers. They're homeowners who are trying to clean up the mess after the ice storm. So we're working on doing some specific rates just for them, so that they can use them in their applications. So I talked to FSA this morning, and we're working with our educators who compile those statewide rates for ag and asking them to do some things for, if you spend all day running the chainsaw doing cleanup and you're trying to apply for disaster aid, to refund that. If you used your tractor to haul around down trees, examples of that. So that's not something we're going to put in the annual report, but that's an example of something that our office gets fairly regularly. To kind of these one-off situations or rare situations for individual homeowners, trying to do things that they're interested in, or their agriculture operation, and we work with them on those particular projects. So sometimes that's putting them in touch with an extension educator that works in that research area, and other times it's referring them to a class that we might be offering that will answer their questions. And with that, I kind of wanted to wait and see what questions folks have for me.
Anyone have any questions?
Oh, I don't have any questions.
No? Questions?
Okay, well, thank you for the opportunity today. Alpena County is one of the first counties extension was in. We've been here for over 100 years. I'm hoping for another 100. So as you're considering our budget requests, if anybody does have questions, or if you want me to meet further with you, please feel free to contact me.
Okay,
Thank you.
Adam, just for your own reference, Commissioners LaHaye and Ludlow have your portion of the budget going forward. So there's been some discussions already, but if you'd like to reach out to have further discussions, they're the two that are assigned to your portion.
Okay, thank you.
Way to call them out in the meeting.
Throw them under the bus.
Okay. Next up, we have Van Gentry, DDA.
Well, good afternoon, and thanks for the invitation today to have me come and give some updates on the DDA and different progress that we've had downtown. There's certainly been a lot over the last few years, and hopefully you've seen that as you walked or biked or spent time within our district. So I'm going to start just with the highlights, and then if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. So I wanted to start with the boundary expansion progress. So that was approved thanks to your support from the city at the end of 2023. So since then, North Second Avenue was completely redone by the city with water, sewer, curb, widened sidewalks, trees, matching lamp posts. That was a huge investment that was, on the radar for the city, but certainly taken just to that next level because it was included in the DDA to get those additional infrastructure improvements to make it look like the rest of the district, and really work with the property owners on that design as well. And since that's happened, almost every building on that stretch from roughly Fletcher to Clark has either had a new business owner, had a new property owner, or received a facade grant for us, or has plans to be under renovation. So we're really proud of the progress on that side of the downtown that was included in the expansion. You can really see what that public investment has had in terms of the business activity downtown. Along Chisholm Street, so we have been participating in the Walkability Action Institute, which is a program through the CDC and MDOT. Alpena was targeted because historically we haven't received money through the Transportation Alternatives Program, which is one of MDOT's largest pools of funding for walkability and trail projects. So we've had a local team of reps from, myself, I'm on the team, the city, the library here at Pines, and then Logan Kemp from the county, and the city's planning commission is on that as well. And the ultimate goal of our participation in this is to submit a TAP application. And our focus will be on the downtown core, so second, first, and third, and then also Chisholm Street from the marina to the hospital. So we're coordinating this with the city's plans to update water sewer in these areas as well. So this is really a multi-year project that we'll be looking at really what the timing will be on it. But the goal from MDOT is to have us access these funds and be successful in implementing our project. So our goals are really to connect the different parts of the downtown, really connect the assets, so the marina, the hospital, you're a large employer as well with the county, and make it more walkable, bikeable, and accessible as well. So we don't have any design that's been complete. We've just started this process, but some of the early concepts from Tool Design, who's a national firm that does this type of work, are to widen the sidewalks, really connect that bike path into the downtown from the river, and really enhance that connection with the marina for people that are walking into the core. So there'll be much, much more to come on this. Tool Design visited earlier this summer. We were able to walk the downtown, show them firsthand some of the areas for opportunity, kind of our vision for what it will look like. And we'll have much more public engagement to follow. We did do a walking and biking audit. So John and Jesse participated briefly for the first one that we did that started at the courthouse down to where the old Big Boy used to be. So really there'll be a lot more to come on this, but it's really exciting because this could be really transformational to really get this stretch of Chisholm, you know, to look maintained, to look well cared for, but also to hopefully encourage some more development along it with that public investment. We had a new strategic plan done in 2024 after the expansion was approved. And so the riverfront and really the access to the water has been one of our priorities as well, because it's such an asset for the community. So as a result of that, we are leasing the Alpena Power Company site that's near the drawbridge on the corner of Second and Water. So if you've been down there, we purchased 6, we call them tiny shops. They're finished sheds. So they could be moved if that property is sold in the future. And so we've been able to welcome 6 new businesses to our downtown for the summer as a part of those. And 3 of them are already looking for brick and mortars based on the results of this summer. So it's really been our goal to, you know, activate that space in the downtown, and also to provide low risk commercial space for businesses as well, so they can try out the downtown and see if there's a market for their product. Our plan is to stay open through Christmas and then close over the winter months and then reopen next summer. Some vendors will change, and then we'll do a call for new applications as well. So we really want a mix of different types of businesses down there. Also along the riverfront, renovation continues at Clem's. So they received the $25,000 match on Main grant that we applied for, and they'll be adding a bar and restaurant as well as axe throwing in that location. So really activating the space that's currently not used in that space. Riverside Ice Cream and then Sanctuary Dogs also opened near where Noah is. And then we have 2 murals that are being painted along the riverfront as well, based on the property owner's application. The other thing that's been really noticeable is all the facade improvements that have been coming through downtown. So in 2024, we received a $400,000 grant through the MEDC for different projects to apply for. So we have 11 projects that are funded through that, and I will list them off. These all will be done by April 2026. So Players, Clem's Bait and Tackle in the old Polish Corner, those are all in that expansion area, and those 3 projects are complete. And then the projects that are in progress right now are the whole Bolin's Jewelry Block, Alpena Agency, the Cellar Building on 2nd Avenue, the pink building next to Latitudes, 835 West Chisholm, 616 North 2nd Avenue, 712 North 2nd Avenue, and then 106 North 2nd Avenue. So our design committee reviewed all these applications. They could request up to 50% of the facade work being done. And so you'll definitely see more progress on these over the next year. We also received a second allocation of facade funding through the MEDC through their RAP grant program. And so this one was just over $800,000, and we applied specifically on behalf of projects that we knew were in the pipeline or that weren't able to access this first round of funding. So all of these need to be complete by September 2027. And the projects that will be funded through this are 616 West Chisholm, which is Sunrise Mission's office building, 701 and 700 North 2nd Avenue, they're right across the street from each other. HPC Credit Union, and then 200 West Chisholm Street, which is going to be the new home of Bay Athletic Club and Thunder Bay Community Health Service, and then Emory Enterprises as well. So the facades have definitely been kind of the most transformational in terms of the progress that you're seeing, because having up to 50% funded is really been that catalyst for projects to consider updating their building and giving the exterior renovation. And then we did have one award for a residential program that we established after the expansion. 912 Chisholm Street accessed a $5,000 grant through us for exterior renovations. And then properties can apply May 15th and September 15th every year. So we're hoping to get some more applications for that. We did send out a mailing to all the residences in the DDA district when we first established it, saying that this pool of funding was available to them. As far as business activity, in 2024, there were 5 new businesses that either expanded or opened downtown. And then in 2025, we're at 15 or 14 already, with a few more on the horizon. So we've had a lot of interest in our downtown. Really, the biggest hurdle that we've been discussing as a DDA is, how to get properties that are currently not for rent or not activated to get to that point where they are available actively for rent, because there certainly is a lot of interest for businesses to relocate or open. And then just lastly, just different construction activity downtown. So Bay Athletic Club, Thunder Bay Community Health Service, and the old Huntington Bank building. This will be completed by the end of the year. We've been working with them, and they received, again, a facade grant through us, as well as a $10,000 activation grant for some of their interior work with the DDA. Thunder Bay Theater should be wrapping up this year and hoping to open next year with productions. 121 West Washington Avenue, which is next to Guerin's Office Supply. They received facade grant funding just from our local DDA budget this year. And then they're adding 2 apartments upstairs, which are 2 new units of housing. And then they'll be just white boxing the first floor for rent. 201 Water Street, the Federal Building, they anticipate to be done by fall 2026. The State Theater, you can see the marquee was removed. I'm not sure on the rest of the timeline of the renovation of that building, but there is movement on the exterior of it. And then Culligan Plaza, which I can hear daily because my office is right next to it. They are working away, and they plan to be done by the fall on that and have it open for Christmas time. And then we've also been busy with different beautification initiatives, really trying to get the expansion area to match and be cohesive with our downtown core. And then some of our public space improvements, we're redoing the Pocket Park next to Mangoes, the alleyway improvements we continue to invest in. The Water Street Commons has public seating area, and then the 2 murals that I mentioned. So this is just kind of a high level overview of some of the highlights. We really appreciate that you've supported the expansion, and hopefully you can see that firsthand of, the impact of that investment has had. I'll take any questions if you have any.
So I have a question. Obviously, you mentioned the facade grants and upgrades to Rollins in that area. It looks like the whole block pretty much is being done. How does that work? Because what happens if the one building in the middle didn't want to spend the money to upgrade their facade? How would you work around that?
Yeah, and that is luckily just one property owner that owns
Oh,
that
so the
whole
whole thing?
stretch. Yeah,
So everybody's pretty much renting it from them?
right.
So that's why it all looks the same, kind of?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I mean, it's very pretty, but I was like, how come it's all the same?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep, that's just one owner that owns that whole stretch, so they were able to decide the.
Very nice,
design and all that. Yeah, that one's a huge improvement from what it used to be.
So I got a note here. So you started off with the North Street, North Second Avenue. So you mentioned all the stuff, the money the city finished with the $2 million reconstruction, the north side. So what involvement actually did the DDA play in that? Because wouldn't they have done, because I think a lot of it was water lines and other things. So whether, I mean, they had to do it. So whether, once it's done, did what happened with those buildings now that you got a new road, curbs, everything, did that happen as a result of the new road? Or, so what involvement, I guess, did the DDA play in that whole
Yeah.
upgrade for the businesses and stuff?
Yeah, so definitely the water sewer would have been done regardless, but pretty much everything above in terms of, okay, this is now part of the DDA. We want to have the sidewalks widened. We want to have the curb with the trees installed. We want to have the matching lamp posts. And then we met with every business owner, property owner along that stretch to say, okay, where do you want the tree located? Where do you want the light post located? So really like that was, even though that was a city investment that was in the works for what was under the ground, having that whatever's above the surface really match the rest of the DDA. Match that for sure.
Okay.
I think contributed. And then as far as, our investment, now that it does look the same, we've, spent money on the hanging baskets. We spent money on the evergreens that go there around the holidays as well.
Okay. And then just a couple other notes that I put down here. So I know that Jeff Konchak, and he, basically, it's like city of Alpena, everywhere you look is something that he's doing. What involvement do you have? Because I know you mentioned that the ice cream shop and then the hot dog stand or whatever he has. What involvement, was he doing that regardless, or did the DDA work, or does the DDA work with him on anything, any portion of the projects that he's doing?
Yeah, those two, I think he had plans to do them after Fish and Wildlife relocated.
Yeah.
But we've been part of the meetings, it's about once a quarter with city staff as well in terms of, what is the progress on your other properties downtown, and trying to encourage him to move on some of the, especially the exterior improvements. So we've certainly been part of those conversations and have offered to help in terms of the facade grant writing. Unfortunately, he didn't take it up on us.
Second Avenue is a serious
Yeah.
upgrade to the facade.
Right, yeah, we had presented some ideas to him of how to temporarily improve the space, especially over the summer. Unfortunately, he didn't want to participate in that. So, we do have a role in the seat of the table to talk to him and try to encourage him to move some of these projects along.
Okay. And then you mentioned one other thing, you work with the, for murals and stuff, you work with the business owners. So there's a new mural I've seen on Facebook at the bridge.
Yeah.
So obviously you had to work with the city. They allowed the mural to be painted on the bridge. Okay.
Yeah, yep, and they applied to have that
So the
painted.
city had to apply for that?
Yep. So every year, property owners can apply to have a mural painted, and then our committee reviews and say, hey, here's what we think are kind of the top choices based on condition of the wall, where it is compared to other murals. And then we review the artist applications and suggest, hey, we think this artist would look really good with this location. And the property owner then can say, yeah, this sounds good, or nope, I'm gonna pass this year. So they did apply this year and were one of our top choices, especially because of our investment at the church there.
Well, and I think it's a great place when you have the biking cruises come in, and that's like the first thing that they see when they go through the bridge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and she should be done this week with it. So we're really excited about that one because I think next year there's 20 more Viking cruise stops between that, the glass bottom boat, kayak boat. There's a lot of activity. So we really are trying to get the riverfront to be that welcoming entry point.
So I've thought of this, but long term, I don't know what the expectation or whatever. What happens in 20 years with those murals? Do they start peeling? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, we don't have like an agreement with the property owners that they have to maintain it. I mean, obviously it'd be nice if they did, but we're getting to the point where some of the earlier ones we're planning on repainting or having a different design over it. So there is no agreement that like it always has to remain a mural. That would just be up to the
So-
property owner.
With the DDA, you pay for the murals to get painted. So businesses like, I know Clem's actually huge upgrades over there, but they have a big fish now painted on the end of the building. And let's just say 20 years, or they decide they don't want to have a fish on their wall, they can just paint right over it.
They could, yeah.
Okay. And then if in 20 years they want a new mural, they can apply for a new grant or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I've asked all the questions that I could think of.
And there might be a point as well where there's enough murals. I think that's something like every year we evaluate like what the interest is, how many there are, how are the original ones looking? So I just put that out there that there might be a point in the future where we move that public art to something.
Well, I know we
something else.
have quite a few, and I'm not against murals, but I know everywhere you look now, you're starting to see
Oh, yeah.
murals like down, I don't know, what, Third Avenue intersection,
Yeah.
that building with the old cars and stuff on it. And back of the parking lot on Chisholm, all those buildings seem to have murals back there, so they all look good, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item is budget adjustment. Jesse? Or who?
Actually, I'll have Kim here to speak to any questions you may have.
Okay, Kim, you want to step right up?
Certainly.
This was, I think this was. We didn't,
This was supposed to be last time. It was.
At finance, it got overlooked.
okay,
So I have a retirement from our team. We are having a challenge with, the recruiting process, plus it's a 16-week average, training process. So I know that we do not have sufficient funds in our overtime budget. So what I've done is I'm requesting to transfer $20,000 from within my budget, from the 911 improvements line item to the overtime. So it will have no impact on general fund. It'll have no impact on my fund balance. I'm just going to hold off doing any further improvements for the rest of this year. And I'm confident I don't need that much, but I would rather have sufficient and just have it bounce back to my fund balance at the end of the year rather than have to come and ask for more.
okay, so I'd look for a motion, approve the Director of Emergency Management 911 budget adjustments as requested for the 20,000.
I'll make
that
a
motion.
I'll
So we got a
support.
motion by Commissioner Ludlow,
I'll support.
support by Commissioner Bray. Any discussion? The question that I have is, I know you did interviews. How's that working out? Not good?
Not great yet. The right person will come along. We have had I've had a discussion with Jennifer and I've also had a discussion with my team. We're a small team and so it's important to get the right person. So we are gonna just keep pushing forward till the right person comes along.
So
We're gonna hold off.
so this transfer is for overtime for the individuals that you already have?
Correct.
Or will it include the training for the individual? Because I know there was discussion that, you basically have whatever it was, how many weeks was it?
16.
16 weeks, where you have the individual, they're sitting side by side, and then they gradually work up to be 100% of all the duties.
Correct.
So will that include that overtime, I guess, if you will?
So there's no overtime per se in the actual training, although we're paying 2 people straight time because the trainee is working alongside of one of our training officers. So there is double pay for that. And if I find that I need to, I will come back and ask to move some of this to the straight line item. It's just
Okay, so this will.
how it plays out. This is just covering, this is, like I said, more than sufficient for the rest of the
This
year,
is
but it's
just to cover Pam's retirement.
just to cover overtime for those extra shifts from Pam being gone, yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bray?
Yes.
Commissioner Britton?
Yes.
Commissioner LaHaye?
Yes.
Commissioner Ludlow?
Yes.
Commissioner Kozlowski?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next item, Jesse, County Administrator.
So an item that we've had budgeted for the last couple of years, but we haven't yet followed through on, and we're coming against the wall because we do have some radios that the sheriff's department is utilizing currently that are due to sunset, is the purchasing of new radios. One of the reasons it's been put on hold is because it had only been half funded in previous budgets and we just didn't have the extra funds. We're late enough now in the year and we've had a couple of line items that came in a little bit higher than anticipated. So we have the opportunity now to get this project crossed off our sheet and actually have a savings in our budget for next year of the placeholding amount of $100,000. To that end, I've supplied a memo to the board with a list of where those funds would come from. And I should be able to take care of most of this. The one item that the auditor did say does have to be a standalone motion would be on the reallocation of funds and purposes for line item 402-000-380.001. That's a patrol vehicle reserve. Formerly, what would happen is when vehicles were seized or sold, those funds would go into this line item to purchase new patrol cars. This is prior to us having our contracts with Enterprise and leasing vehicles. So these funds have just been sitting in this line item for a while. We'd like to pull those out for other usage in the sheriff's department, specifically the radios. So for that one, it would require a board action to reallocate the purpose of those funds for things other than what it's listed as. Other than that, the other ones with the recommended motion at the bottom of that memo, myself and the treasurer should be able to take care of with your okay.
Okay, so,
I should also mention that it's the 220,000 was projected. That's with a little bit of a buffer. The number keeps going up and down by about 20,000 at any given time. But I did talk to the sheriff this morning and right now it's on the low end, so it'll probably come in closer to 200,000.
okay, so we look for a motion, which is at the bottom of this.
Which he
memo.
wrote on the bottom, yeah.
So if anyone would like to make that motion, and then we'll have to make a second motion for the.
Yeah, and I can read that off.
1,000, okay.
I'll make the first one.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Ludlow for the transfers.
How it's in red.
Yeah,
Support.
support by Commissioner Britton. Any further discussion? If not, I could roll call on that.
Commissioner Britton,
Yes.
Commissioner LaHaye,
Yes.
Commissioner Ludlow,
Yes.
Commissioner Bray,
Yes.
Commissioner Kozlowski.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, then we need another one that Jesse has the next motion.
The second motion would be to reallocate the purpose of the funds in line item number 402-000-380.0001 for patrol vehicle reserves to be used for other purposes other than that which is listed.
I'll make that motion.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Britton,
I'll support.
support by Commissioner
LaHaye.
LaHaye. Any further discussion? If not, we'll call on that one.
Commissioner LaHaye,
Yes.
Commissioner Ludlow,
Yes.
Commissioner Bray,
Yes.
Commissioner Britton,
Yes.
Commissioner Kozlowski.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay,
The second is a series of documents and legalese from our attorneys regarding the opioid settlement. These are a number of resolutions that they require our signature on in order to proceed and process the suits that we're involved in currently.
so
So what do you want here? You want a motion for the whole thing,
Yes, please. Yeah, motion for us to accept and have the chairman sign.
the resolutions?
Yes, sir.
So moved.
okay, so we have a motion for the resolution by Commissioner Britton. Support by Commissioner LaHaye. Any discussion? If not, then all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Okay, next item is updates. Travis is not here, so what was it, any big stuff that you can think of from, I think actually the facility meeting was pretty minimal.
It was very,
Do you have any updates since you were there?
Yeah, I don't, the only thing I am working with that engineer Spicer on the MDOT thing with the HVAC problem. I'm talking to him. I actually got another email with him to follow up. I'm gonna see if he wants to do some lifetime monitoring and to try to figure out, because the problem happens to be a little bit more involved than I initially anticipated.
So how will that affect like the upcoming winter? I mean, is it,
It doesn't seem, from what I understand, it actually is more of a cooling problem. I think the heating is actually not that bad, but it's more of a cooling issue, but I do have to do some more homework with him though, and they've given us a proposal that's pretty inclusive, and I think we need to start out at least with the monitoring so we can see what's going on. But we'll have to find some money to do that.
okay. Okay, anything else? You good on that? Todd?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, airport bill?
We met a committee and the employments are going good this year. We're up over last year. And we should end up the year with over 10,000 employments. If we just stay what we had last year, and every month we've been ahead of last year. So if it continues that way, we should be well ahead of schedule. The fuel sales from SkyWest contract is we had through July, we had 98,103 gallons of fuel and, Jet A fuel, we had 27,114 gallons. And retail low lead gas, we've had 3,797.6 gallons. All the equipment seems to be working well at this time. We're waiting for grant funding for the T hangars. And we haven't started those until we get the funding. The rehabilitation of runway 119 shoulders and lighting is in closeout process. The acquiring of the two runway plows, we don't have a completion date on those, but they should be in the process, and we're hoping to have them by the end of the year. And we have no project number to acquire the rotary plow yet, so we're just waiting for that. And no project number yet to update the airport layout plan, so. Any questions?
Just because I'm involved in that on the other side, do you have any idea what's gonna happen with the funding on that T hangar project?
I don't know, we're just waiting. Nobody knows.
Yeah, okay. The one in Ryder City was a challenge for quite a while and we ended up bailing out of that one, but,
Well, we're just trying to wait and see what happens.
Okay,
winter comes and then it gets a little hard to take care of that stuff,
it's always next year.
which at this point, in my opinion, would be okay.
Yeah. Okay, next, courts and public safety, Lucille?
Yes, we met last week and I believe there's an item on the consent calendar on the supply trailer that's out at the airport that the county's going to take over. That was approved. And the public safety, the ambulance, fire ambulance, they are meeting, they're looking to get out of the Echo Tango agreement that they have with the townships. And they're going to meet and discuss that. So they'll get back to it. They'd like to get out of it by July 1st of 26. And the emergency management 911 director, they are integrating CAD integration for software for emergency reporting. And I believe that's it.
Oh. Next, Rhonda, who's not here, so Jesse can speak on.
Sure. Actually, it was probably one of the fullest personnel committee agendas, date. I guess 4 things to highlight quickly. They approved a pet policy. Basically, that was something that the board had already asked for, that to be developed and done. It's just basically to formalize something that's already been done. We passed a moonlighting policy. We have a small faction within the county as usual who likes to make a big hoopah about nothing, but basically what that does is it puts the county in a position where we can track things to make sure that there's not any conflicts or liabilities that may make us open to lawsuit or things like that. And really, it's not about okaying or not okaying people having secondary jobs. It's more so to basically make sure that we're moving the parts around to protect the county and protect them from any type of liability. And then we also have an NDA that has been approved. Union reps have already approved that as well. We're just waiting to roll that out until we can formalize the accompanying memo. And they also did the final round of emergency manager interviews. I'm being told that a decision will be made at their September meeting for recommendation for the full board.
Okay. That looks like that's it. Moving on to the informational poll votes. So you said you got enough, you got the
Yeah, both of
number of votes for approval. So I know on the first one, I see to my right, Commissioner LaHaye and Ludlow, and you both.
Yeah.
Put your vote in on that one?
Yes.
Okay. So again, that was the, to pay the state of Michigan for those back taxes. Next item, poll vote, was a controlled dehumidification unit at the Northern Lights. And you said who was on this one? So Ludlow, Peterson, and Travis, so I guess,
Sent in yesterday, so.
so your yes was able to pass that then?
Yeah.
So, okay. So one thing that I would just say, moving forward, because I got a little note to self. I know that when I'm in the commissioner's office, if you guys, and I don't know if we have a poll vote, I don't know what is the best way. I know she's emailed it. I don't know, what, is there a better way to reach you guys?
Email is fine for
You
me.
guys good with the email, responding to the email?
I sent a yes back on that. The humidifier ring, so.
I just want to make sure that,
Email for me is fine.
okay.
But I think though too, I've gotten texts if I don't
What we
answer.
usually do is Kim will do an email.
Yeah.
Then we'll give it a day or two. And I mean, a lot of the members will come through the office within that 48-hour period. So when we ask them face to face. And then as we get closer, if we haven't gotten enough to go one way or the other, we'll send
I've
out.
gotten a text, yeah,
And then we'll just.
check, yeah.
Well, the only reason I say is because I know I was in Carrie's office and she was already working on, assuming that we were gonna say yes to something, and I'm like, we don't wanna get too far ahead of ourselves if then you got someone that says no, or a couple people that say no. So I just want to make sure that if we're reaching out for the poll votes, if you guys are good with the emails, and worst case, if we have to text you or whatever, just to get an update. Okay. Unfinished business, correspondence, new business. It's like we're into the final public comment. Anybody final public comment? Anybody online? Okay, we'll close public comment and then we'll move into closed session to discuss lawsuit and contract discussion.
Commissioner LaHaye,
Here.
Commissioner Ludlow.
Here.
Commissioner Bray. Here. Commissioner Britton,
Here.
Commissioner Kozlowski.
Here. Okay, need a motion for,
Chairman and the admin to sign the police officers labor council contract.
I'll make a motion.
so we have a motion by Commissioner Bray,
Second.
second by Commissioner Ludlow. Any discussion? I think we discussed it, so roll call, please.
Commissioner LaHaye,
Yes.
Commissioner Ludlow,
Yes.
Commissioner Bray,
Yes.
Commissioner Peters, I'm sorry, Commissioner Britton,
Yes.
Commissioner Kozlowski.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, that's all we have, I think. Look for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Commissioner LaHaye. What's that? Second by Commissioner Ludlow. So is that how I get people to do it? I look at them? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Adjourn.